starting soon. Come watch the Rabit, let's watch the Rabit, bringing entertainment to me and you. Come watch the Rabit, let's watch the Rabit, it's not hard to do. Get ready because the stream is starting now.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another JRabbit87 stream. I'm your host, JRabbit87, and I hope everybody is having a good day today. I hope you guys are ready for some wrestling action. Now, I do kind of have to apologize just a little bit, because normally on Discord, for those of you who are a part of the Discord, I do a whole, what to expect, and I did not do that today. In my defense, other than editing the highlight videos, I have been spending most of the day applying for jobs. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into our commands. We've got a great show and possibly a long show for you guys tonight. Lots of tag team matches. So, as always, we are sponsored by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We also want to say a huge thank you to everyone who joins me today. Discord, we have one of those. You can join our Discord by clicking on that link right there. You can join our YouTube by clicking on that link, or join our TikTok by clicking on that link. Here's some information on how you can help support the stream right here and right now. Yay! I will, of course, go in greater detail, assuming I'm not pass out tired by the time we're done at the end of the stream. With that said, we've got things starting off with a bang, a tag team banger to start us off, as the number one contender to the Women's United States Champion, Lyra Valkyria, teams up with her friend Tatum Paxley, collectively known as Absolution, to take on the current Women's United States Champion, Asuka, and her friend Kairi Sane, currently known as the Kabuki Warriors. This tag team match starts us out first, and it starts... Sorry, I have to make some adjustments here. Starts us out next.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley, Absolution!
And here they come, the team of Absolution. These two young ladies decided to start teaming together. Unfortunately, it has not brought them a lot of success, but they're not letting that get them down, especially here tonight.
And their opponents, the Women's United States Champions, Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors!
And what an uphill battle does Absolution have here. The Kabuki Warriors are former RWF Women's Tag Team Champions, while Absolution have never won a title. here in RWF. Alright, this match about to get underway, and it's going to be the champion and the number one contender starting things out here tonight. Again, the biggest thing here is the amount of titles one side has over the other, and just how much the side that doesn't have titles wants to prove that they belong in the title picture. What do I mean by all this? Well, neither Lyra Valkyria nor Tatum Paxley have ever held any title here in RWF. Meanwhile, over on the opposite side of things, Kairi Sane is a former Carrot Cash briefcase holder, as well as being a former women's tag team champion alongside Asuka. Asuka herself, just by herself, is a two-time women's tag team champion, a former women's world champion, the only woman to ever hold the women's world and women's tag team championships at the same time, and of course, she is currently the Women's United States champion. Tagging into both Kairi Sane and Tatum Paxley. Looking for a quick cover now, but not even a one count there. Tatum Paxley and Lyra Valkyria have been in number one contendership spots before, but have yet to reach that actual title belt. Lyra Valkyria, of course, the current number one contender for Asuka's United States Championship, which has led us to this match here tonight. And we got to point out the fact that last week, Lyra Valkyria actually got a pinfall victory over the Women's United States Championship. Granted, it was a tag team victory, but still, she has that over the Women's Champion. And you got to wonder if Asuka has that in the back of her head, knowing that she may need to step up her game. Tag back into Asuka. Little double team action here by the Kabuki Warriors. Despite the tag team action, Tatum Paxley able to take control of the match and show Asuka, hey, I'm in control right now. Tagging back in Lyra Valkyria, getting the number one contender and the champion back in this match. Russian leg sweep followed by some punches. Lyra Valkyria showing the champion why she might want to hold extra tight to her title. But one also has to wonder too, how much does Asuka's heart belong to the United States title, considering we know what she really wants? And you might be asking yourself, well, what do you mean by that? What does she really want? Well, much like Bray Wyatt, who did achieve this dream, Asuka wanted to and wants to be the first Women's Grand Slam champion. Here, tie back out to Asuka. And she was very close to becoming the first Women's Grand Slam champion. Again, having already won the Women's World Championship and the Women's Tag Team Championship. At the time, all she needed was the Women's European Championship. A championship that always seemed to escape Asuka's grasp. Then, it was announced a brand new championship for the women. The Women's United States Championship. There's a tag out to Kairi Sane. That, of course, sent Asuka into a fury. Because now, it went from her being one title away from being Grand Slam champion to 2 titles away from being Grand Slam champion. Then she went and won the Women's United States title. That's what I mean by all this. How much is her heart actually towards defending this title? How much of her mind is on, now I just need to be Women's European Champion to complete my destiny of being the first Women's Grand Slam Champion? Because although she can still challenge for other titles while being champion, it would be easier for her to challenge for the European Championship if she's not the United States champion. Tag out to Asuka. And Paxley taking it to the champion here, perhaps showing why one day she might be a champion here in RWF. Big flapjack there. There's a tag out to Lyra Valkyria. Asuka with that big hip attack into the cover. And that kick out at 2. Submission move there by Valkyria, but Asuka easily able to get out of it. Just a fury of blows, and now Asuka with her feet on the ropes, but not even not even a 2 count there. Tag back into Tatum Paxley. The educated feet of Asuka going to work there. And now a tag out to Kairi Sane. Back and forth action between these two teams. Neither one wanting to look weak. Neither one wanting to show any weakness. And neither one wanting to lose this match. There's a tag out to Lyra Valkyria. She hits that Fisherman Brainbuster. We saw this before. The same move that won her last week. But this week, it only gets a 2 count. And Kairi Sane putting it all on the line in that move. But I don't quite think she got quite all of it. But these two ladies fighting here on the outside of the ring. Perhaps Kairi Sane trying to weaken Asuka's opponent here. Tag back into Asuka. Assisted insane elbow into the cover, but Tatum Paxley breaks it up. Going for a Hurricanrana, but reversed into a European Uppercut. Asuka and Lyra Valkyria now trying to destroy each other here on the outside of the ring. Trying to get as much punishment on the other one. Granted, Asuka, of course Asuka wants Lyra to be at her not 100%ness as Asuka defends the Women's United States Championship at Heatwave against Lyra Valkyria. Meanwhile, Valkyria just wants to prove that she belongs. She deserves this. She worked hard to get here, and she is going to leave champion. Back and forth action, and this is only the first match of the evening, folks. Tag in the Kairi Sane. Sane off the middle rope with a double axe handle smash. Looking for the cover, and she gets it.
Here are your winners, Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors.
And on this night, the Kabuki Warriors stand tall. I mean, they were former women's tag team champions for a reason. Well, coming up next is one of several previews that we're going to get. Yes, Triple H, the authority figure here in RWF, has decided that he wants to see the champions face the number one contenders in some singles matches. And we're going to get at least two of those today. Technically more, but we'll talk about a little more later. The first one comes up to you next as the current Intercontinental Champion Ricky Saints goes one-on-one with the number one contender Shawn Spears in a non-title match.
Truth will ultimately prevail. But there's pain bringing it to light.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, representing the Culling from Niagara Falls, Canada, weighing in at 223 pounds, Shawn Spears.
And here he comes, the man who claims that Ricky Saints is a false champion. And the only one who sees past him and the only one who can bring the truth out is him. Is Shawn Spears. The man who claims that he will show the truth by taking the title away from the false champion.
This is the revolution.
And his opponent from New Orleans, Louisiana,
And here comes the man who says that he is the revolution that RWF needs. Of course, winning his debut match, winning that #1 contendership spot, and then going on to win the Intercontinental Championship. There might just be something to what he has to say. Now, it should be noted that this is a non-title match, but that title, the RWF Intercontinental Championship, will be on the line at Heatwave, which of course will be coming live to you right here on Twitch at 7 p.m. Central Time next Monday. And what a great opportunity for these two here to showcase what they, or to showcase why they believe they will be the ones leaving Heatwave as Intercontinental Champion. You have, of course, the #1 contender who we have seen time in and time out in #1 contender matches. He's never won the #1 contendership spot, and he's never won a title here in RWF, and you know that he would love nothing more than to prove what he says is right by walking out of Heatwave as the champion. On the other hand, you have Ricky Saints, who is the current Intercontinental Champion. It'll be his first title defense since becoming Intercontinental Champion, and what a success story that Ricky Saints has had so far. He debuted here in RWF by winning an 8-man over-the-top rope battle royal to earn the right to challenge the Intercontinental Champion at that point in time, which was, of course, Pete Dunne. He would go on to Carrot Cash, and he would then win the Intercontinental Championship all within his debut. Like, he just had debuted not too long after that. So the fact that he is already Intercontinental Champion shows just how much potential this young man has to be exactly what he says he is, which, like I said, he says he is the revolution of RWF. Now wait a second. Ethan Page's music hitting here. I don't know what Ethan Page has to do with this match. I don't even see Ethan Page anywhere, but Sean Spears from behind. Ricky Spears able to get out of the Death Valley Driver attempt. Hitting a big move of his own into the cover. A kick out at 2. But now, that the question has to be asked, what is Ethan Page? What does he have to do with any of this? He is not the #1 contender. We haven't even really seen much of Ethan Page. I don't know. That is definitely a thinker. Big super kick by Spears. And slipped through by by Ricky Saints. Back and forth action between these two men. Neither one wanting to show any kind of weakness here. Both wanting to prove why they believe they'll be the ones leaving with the Intercontinental Championship. Big flying headbutt there by Saints, and this could be the beginning of the end. Big Dominator-like move into the cover. Oh, a kick out at 2.9999999. Reversal there by Spears. Uses the ropes to do a little bit of springboard action. And now it's Saints with a reversal. And now Ricky Saints with a beautiful tornado DDT. Into the cover. And he got it.
Here is your winner, Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints showing why he is the Intercontinental Champion and perhaps sending directly the message to Shawn Spears that, hey, I'm leaving still Intercontinental Champion. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait and see if that is indeed the case when the title is actually on the line. Well, coming up next, if you recall, last episode, our main event saw the MFTs versus the Vision, and Austin Theory was able to get the win via pinfall, even though his feet were on the ropes. Solo Sikoa has demanded justice, and Triple H has granted him this in the form of a singles match. Coming up next, it's Solo Sikoa versus Austin Theory in a no disqualification match. interesting to see Paul Heyman out here with Austin Theory. Of course, Paul Heyman, the Oracle, behind the group known as the Vision. But of course, the history between Heyman and Solo Sikoa is also a factor here.
And his opponent, representing MFT from Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing in at 250 pounds, Solo Sikoa!
And here he comes, the leader of the MFTs, looking like he is not happy here at all. And of course, why should he be? His member of his MFT's Talatanga is the #1 contender to the Vision's Braun Breakers Pure Honor Championship. And so far, the Vision has been on top every step of the way. Solo Sikoa demanding justice. And Triple H says, okay, you want justice? Sort it out in the ring. Also interesting to note that Solo has none of his MFTs out here at ringside to back him up here. Now this is a no disqualification match. Pinfalls and submissions still have to happen inside of the ring, but other than that, it's anything goes. You want to grab a weapon? Grab a weapon. There are no rope breaks, no ring countouts, nothing. These two trading blows here. Of course, Solo Sikoa was not even a part of that big 8-man tag team match that we had last week. But he's claiming that because Austin Theory used the ropes, which was very much legal, I might add, but since he used the ropes to get the deciding pinfall victory, Solo Sikoa is demanding to a right of that, what he calls an injustice. Now, again, I see where Triple H is coming from too. That was not an injustice. Our tag team matches, there are no rope breaks. You can use the ropes however you see fit. And, oh, I should have known. One of the Tongas. Music playing here. Oh, I thought maybe one of the Tongas was getting involved here, but the match continues and I don't see anybody. Austin Theory trying to take down Solo Sikoa here, but Solo Sikoa fighting back, trying to show that his MFTs are strong and that Braun Breaker needs to keep a close watch on his title. These two fighting right here outside of the ring, right in front of the commentary desk. Taking this fight all over again. There's no disqualification. There's nothing to stop them from fighting out here. German suplex by Austin Theory, and Solo Sikoa retreating to the outside of the ring again. Theory setting up for that stomp. He hits it. And now, Theory going for something else big, but big Uranagi by Solo Sikoa there. Into the cover. Will that be enough? No, you got it too. And now Sikoa with the Samoan spike into the cover. And again, Theory kicks out at 2. And Sikoa with a second Samoan spike, but this time Paul Heyman distracting Solo Sikoa from getting the cover. You got to think that this one was over there. But now giving Austin Theory plenty of time to get back to his feet. Big power bomb there by Solo Sikoa. Rolling blockbuster there by Austin Theory. Big move there by Theory into the cover. But Solo Sikoa kicks out. And now Theory setting Sikoa up. And suplex through the table. Theory with a second stomp in this match, followed by a neck breaker. And now Theory looking to end it. Perhaps Theory should have went for a pin when he had a chance. Now he's given Solo Sikoa a chance to regain his composure. And now going for another Samoan spike. Will 3 times be the charm? And that's it.
Here is your winner, Solo Sikoa.
And Solo Sikoa getting the victory here tonight. Getting a bit of revenge and perhaps setting his injustice correctly. Well, coming up next, we have a bit of an interesting thing. Despite the Misfits already they have lost the war momentum. They have lost with a 3-1 loss. Despite this, Triple H has ordered a non-title tag team match between the Misfits and the Dream Team. The one good thing about this is the Dream Team said that they had special gear made for when they team up and are a tag team, that they were going to debut at Heatwave, but they have said that since Triple H is demanding this match, they are indeed going to debut that new gear here tonight, and it is next.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. Making their way to the ring, Thea Hale and Maxine Dupree, the Dream Team.
And here they come, new Titantrons. Same music, new gear. These two looking to party hard and win their first titles in the tag team division. course, I have to remind everybody that this is a non-title match. Despite that, the Misfits donning their Misfit gear to prove their solidarity as a tag team. And they say they're going to treat this just as if the titles were on the line, which means that they are walking out the winners. Alright, this match getting started. Thea Hell and Michin starting things out here tonight. And again, this is a non-title match, and it stinks because even if the Misfits do win here tonight, they ultimately have lost the war of momentum, but I mean, they would at least win this little bit of momentum here go right before the title defense. Thea Hell and Maxine Dupree rocking their new tag team attire. There's a tag out to BFAB. Their new tag team attire here tonight. They say that it represents their personalities, with Michin with Maxine Dupree, who just got tagged in there, wearing more white than blue, while Thea Hell wears more blue than white. Their attires are exactly the same, other than the colors are a little bit reversed. And they say that this is both to show their singularity as a tag team, while also showing their differences as individuals. Tag into Michin. These two teams putting it all on the line here, both wanting to prove whether they're going to leave as champions. Little insult to injury there by Michin. Big springboard tornado DDT there. There's the tag out to B-Fab. Big enziguri reversal by Dupree. Of course, one of the biggest advantages that the Misfits have going for them is not only are they the current RWF Women's Tag Team Champions, but Michin is a two-time Women's Tag Team Champion. Tag out to Michin and Thea Hale. And what's, of course, the always interesting note is that Michin, the first time she won the Women's Tag Team Championship, was also part of the Misfits. Only it was with Cora Jade. Of course, Cora Jade no longer with the company, and B-Fab and Michin now the only two members of the tag team, or stable. What was once a stable. Tag into Maxine Dupree, and there's a tag into B-Fab. Big move there by B-Fab, trying to do as much damage as she can. Nice fisherman suplex by Maxine Dupree. Swinging bad batter, swing into the cover, but Michin breaks up the cover. Tag into Thea Hale, little double team action here. Tag into Michin. Massive kick into the cover, but Maxine Dupree breaks up the cover. Tag into Maxine Dupree. Hey, welcome in, Bruto. greet. We are on our fourth match of the evening. Also, Thea Hale and Maxine Dupree have decided to debut their new tag team gear early. So I hope you and everybody else enjoys that. The gear really good on them. I like the colors. Thank you. I tried to make it because in the game, Thea Hale wears a lot of blue and Maxine wears a lot of white. So I gave them, it's the same exact bodysuit and kick pads and stuff like that. And I made, since Thea Hale wears a lot of blue, I made the main color blue with the stripes and stuff being white. And then on Maxine Dupree, I just reversed that and made all the main color white with the stripes being blue. So that way they have a team, like it shows their team solidarity, but it also shows their individuality. I also made their entrance have the flowers because they don't really have a like generic dance one, and I figured it fit them the best. And I mean for like the Titantron and like their entrance video and all that, I gave them the one that has the flowers and stuff. I love how much thought you put into things like this. Thank you. Submission hold here, but instant reversal by B-Fab. Going for the submission armbar a second time. And again, B-Fab able to get out of it. Again, Meechin. An assisted super kick into the cover. And that's it.
Here are your winners, Meechin and B-Fab, the Misfits.
On this night, the Misfits get the victory, and you gotta wonder, is the dream for the Dream Team gonna be over at Heatwave? Or is this just a monetary setback? Because even with this win, that puts the Misfits up to 2. The Dream Team still has 1 with a victory of 3. So they still get to pick what stipulation will happen at Heatwave. Alright, so before we get into the next match, I'm going to catch everybody up since our Bruda has just joined us. So our first match of the evening saw Absolution, the team of Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley, go against the Kabuki Warriors, the team of Asuka and Kairi Sane, with Asuka and Kairi Sane getting the win. Ricky Saints fought Sean Spears in a non-title match, where Ricky Saints won. Solo Sikoa defeated Austin Theory in a one-on-one match. And we just saw the Misfits win a non-title match against the Dream Team, gaining another point of momentum in their favor, but still making them lose 2-3. Well, coming up next, if you have not been with us, you know that there has been, if you've not been with us, or if you have, or whatever, there has been an interesting feud going on between two people who like to call themselves the Monster. As many people know, Abyss has called himself the Monster for years, and since he has come into RWF. Everybody knows that he is the Monster Abyss. Well, a few short months ago, we had the debut, or I should say re-debut, because he has been on RWF, I believe, before, but we have had the debut of a man called Dave Ryda. And Dave Ryda also likes to call himself the Monster. The Monster, Dave Ryda. Now, Dave Ryda has yet to be, he, except for last week, he has lost pretty much every match that he's been in. I'm just going to be frank. Last week, he had his first victory when he defeated La Parca. La Parca was just one of many people, well, one of two people, that Abyss has kind of thrown at him to kind of test his resolve. Tonight's no different. We get a one-on-one match, and Abyss has said it is time to attack Dave Ryda's past. And more importantly, Dave Ryda's manager's past. We're going to see what this means as this singles match happens next.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, accompanied by Tony Marcus Jones from the pits of hell, weighing in at 415 pounds, the Monster Dave.
And here he comes, making his way to the ring, Dave Ryda, the Monster, as he likes to be said, being accompanied by his manager, the former president of RWF, Tony Marcus Jones. Wait, what? Hold on. Hold on. No. 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 I changed that. I'm sorry, guys. I changed that. I need to. That makes me mad. That makes me really mad. I'm sorry you guys have to be put through this. Yes. I gotta make sure that his entrance is, or his, victory isn't gonna be the same. Yeah. No, it completely got rid of all that. I have no idea what happened, why it's doing any of that. Alright, let's try this again. Shall we? Alright, let's try this again.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, accompanied by Tony Marcus Jones. From the pits of hell, weighing in at 415 pounds, the Monster Dave.
And here, as I said before, the monster, the man calling himself the Monster, Dave Ryder, accompanied by the former president of RWF, Tony Marcus Jones.
And his opponent from Oklahoma, weighing in at 230 pounds, Pitbull Little James Stevens.
And talk about a blast from the past. Indeed, this man owned his own backyard wrestling company called Danger Zone Wrestling. And of course, the feud he had with Tony Marcus Jones was legendary. The two fought in the very first ever DZW match and were two of the staples throughout its 10-year existence. Of course, Dave Ryder was also a part of that company at one point. And here we go. The history between these two. Lil James will not back down from the monster here. If this is what the monster's trying to do. Lil James Stevens has got the heart of a pit bull. That's why he's called the pit bull, Lil James Stevens. And he's not going to back down no matter what the giant tries to do. Dave Ryder looking for an early tap-out victory here. But he's going to have to try harder than that. Despite his power and his size, the one thing that Lil James Stevens has the most of is heart. Well, James showing just what drive can do to a man. Using that heart to overcome the monster here. And of course, these two are no strangers to each other either. Lil James has had his battles with Dave Ryder in the past. And now Stevens with the Death Valley driver into the cover. And that's it.
Here is your winner, Pitbull Little James Stevens.
And a rather quick and decisive victory here for the debut of Little James Stevens over Dave Ryder. That was unexpectedly quick. I know, right? It really was. Well, coming up next is another one of Triple H's masterpieces. Just as we saw earlier with Shawn Spears and Ricky Saints, he has commanded that Julia go one-on-one with Zarya. And of course, if you don't know what's going on there, well, Julia is the current women's European champion, while Zarya is the current #1 contender to the women's European championship. So, contender versus champion, non-title match. Coming up next.
scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Adelaide, South Australia, Zarya!
You gotta wonder if Zarya has any kind of nerves going into this match, because so far, every challenger that has fought a champion in a non-title match here tonight has come out the loser.
And her opponent from Tokyo, Japan, the Women's European Champion, Julia!
And of course, this will be Julia's first title defense since becoming the Women's European Champion, and you gotta be inspired by the story of Julia. Since debuting, she has tried again and again and again to get a chance at a title, but she has never really was able to get that number one contendership spot. And then, boy howdy, when she finally did, she took full advantage and became the new Women's European Champion. Then again, Zarya has a very similar situation. She debuted not too awful long ago, and she has been in several high-profile matches, but is yet to actually reach the top of the mountain. Next week at Heatwave, that could be Zarya's chance to get her name in the record books. Then again, Julia won't go down without a fight. Zarya proving to be a little bit too much for Julia. Just as I say that quick roll up by Julia, not even a one count, but perhaps letting Zarya know, hey, I'm not down for the count yet. These two now fighting here on the outside of the ring. As much as I hate to say it, this one could end in a count out victory. Or double count out. Count of 7, Julia's back in, and there comes Zarya. This match will continue. Big knee there by Julia into the cover. And a kick out at 2. Pinfall attempt. Only a 1 count. Vicious chokehold, using the ropes to her advantage there. And wait a second. That's Odyssey Rift. Odyssey Rift coming out of nowhere to interrupt this match. A second time of this evening that I'm just left completely confused. I have no idea why Odyssey Rift would insert herself into this match, what her angle is, what her goal is, or anything here. Either way, she's paying for it. Receiving a big spear there by Zarya. Pinfall attempt here by the champion. The kick out at 2. These two now trading blows, each woman wanting to, well, kind of upstage the other here. Big move there into the cover. And that's it.
Here is your winner,
Woo! Once again on this night, the champions proved to be dominant over the number one contenders. As a well-deserved victory goes to Julia, but I still gotta wonder, what is Odyssey Rift's whole thing here? Is she just tired of sitting in the background? Does she have some personal feud against or dislike against Zarya? We'll have to try to reach out to Odyssey Rift and see if we can get any answers. For now, we move on to a tag team match, playa. We actually have two back-to-back tag team matches for you. The first of which will decide the final point in the war momentum over the men's tag team championships as the Usos face the Terrors in a non-title tag team match.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring at a combined weight of 477 pounds, Dr. and Dr. C. The Terrors.
And so far, both of these teams are equal 2 victories to 2 victories. This will determine who wins the war momentum and who gets the right to pick the stipulation, if there is any, at Heatwave.
And their opponents at a combined weight of 493 pounds, the men's tag team champions, the team of Jimmy and main event, J.C. Uso.
The Usos say they ain't sweating it. Whether they win or lose the war momentum, let them choose something. We don't care. We showed all of y'all not to count us out when we beat DIY and we beat the NOD. This match starting with Dr. Corvus and Jimmy Uso. Now, it should be noted that both times a member of the Usos fought Dr. Naha, they lost. But both times a member of the Usos, there's a tag out to Dr. Naha, both times the members of the Usos faced Dr. Corvus, they won. But then again, the Usos are also proof that you really can't count on the war momentum on who is going to walk out as champion. Because when they fought the war momentum against DIY, they didn't just lose once or twice or even 3 times to tag out to Jey Uso. No, they lost 5 times. They didn't even get a single victory against the members of DIY. Despite that, they still went on to face, they still went on to face off against I couldn't do that. Anyways, they still went on to face the DIY at Rabbit Mania, and they still walked out as champions. This will be the 3rd title defense the Usos will have since becoming tag team champions. The tag out to Dr. Naha. Tagging back in Dr. Corvus. With a tag out to Jimmy Uso. So, I don't know if I talked about this, but I recently was very, very, very disappointed in something. Because I had heard that they, with one of the recent, things with this new patch or whatever, they were giving a Venom-inspired luchador mask that you could give your creative characters. Tag out to Jay. Anybody who knows Dr. Corvus knows that I had a Venom-esque inspired luchador mask. So I was very excited that I was going to be able to give him a mask that more closely resembles what I actually wore. Only to find out 2 things that made me mad and disappointed about it. The first of which is you can only unlock it by doing stuff in the island, which I don't want to do. The second is it looks nothing like the mask I actually wore, and I am not a fan of what it looks like at all. I do think, all things considered, they both turned out well, though. Yeah, they did. Tag out to Dr. Corvus. Pinfall attempt by Uso, but a kick out by Dr. Corpse. Spear by Uso. Followed by the Uso splash, but Dr. Naha breaks up the cover. Tag into Jimmy Uso. Oh, Tequila Sunrise by Jay. Uso splash by Jimmy. Two count as Jimmy Uso almost had this one. Double super kick by Uso. Tag into Jay. Tag into Dr. Corvus. Only a 2 count as Corvus tries to get the win. There's the injection, as he calls it. It's a choke slam, I know. Dr. Corvus likes to call it the injection, but instead of going for the pinfall, he grabs a baseball bat. I don't know how smart that is on Dr. Corvus' part. Dr. Corvus perhaps letting his anger get the best of him here. Tag back out to Dr. Naha. Tag back into Jimmy Uso. Dr. Naha able to reverse the spear, but looks like he may have hurt his own hand there by doing so. Reversal by Jimmy Uso as these two continue to fight here on the outside of the ring. Remember, you can't win by pinfall or submission on the outside of the ring, but you can win by knockout. Takedown by Jimmy Uso, trying to do whatever he can to keep Dr. Naha down. Tag out to Jey Uso. And the Usos hit the 1D. But are broken up by Dr. Corvus. Tagging back in Dr. Corvus now. Dr. Corvus with a second injection into the cover, but Jimmy able to break up the cover. Now Dr. Corvus hits the cure into the cover. And a kick out at 2. Now Corvus going out of his comfort zone up here on the top rope. But he misses, and Uso's going to take advantage. Uso with a spear. And now Jey to the top rope. In for the Uso splash, but Uso missed. Big move there, taking both men down. Looking for a leg drop, but Jey Uso able to get out of the way. Big power bomb by Corvus into the cover. And that's it.
Here are your winners, Dr. A and Dr. C. The Tears.
I just now realized I never started betting. Whoops. Well, in the first of the night, whew, I was so worried they would lose, right? I hear you. In the first reversal of things, in every non-title match, the champions have won, except for that one, which means the Terrors have indeed won the War Momentum 3-2. Well, coming up next, we have another tag team match. Los Conquistadors have straight up called Bray Wyatt out, saying, "Bring your brother, bring Uncle Howdy, bring the Faces of Fear, former men's tag team champions, and let us battle." This tag team match comes up next.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 404 pounds, El Grande Americano and El Grande Americano, Los Conquistadors.
Only their second time as a tag team. They said they're not going to let their loss prevent them from showing why they are the Conquistadors, which means conquerors.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 519 pounds, Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt, the Faces of Fear.
I don't know how exactly how smart it was to call these two out. They call themselves the Faces of Fear for a reason, and they are former men's tag team champions. But Los Conquistadors did do it, and of course, El Grande Americano, the new El Grande Americano, will be facing Bray Wyatt for that United States Championship at Heatwave. And this match starts out as the number one contender and the current United States champion start out just for Bray to immediately tag out to Uncle Howdy. Now, I have to talk about the accomplishments of the Faces of Fear. As a tag team, they are former RWF Men's Tag Team Champions. In the singles division, Uncle Howdy is a former heavyweight champion. Bray Wyatt is a former heavyweight, intercontinental, pure honor, and is the current United States champion. Bray Wyatt is the first man, and there's a tag out to Bray, and so far only person who can call himself a Grand Slam champion. In fact, the only thing that he has not done is win the Carrot Cash briefcase, which is not a qualification to be a Grand Slam champion. Meanwhile, you have the very bizarre teaming of El Grande Americano and the original El Grande Americano. And now you could also say that the original is a former United States champion in his own right. And that is very, very true. And their story is very, very interesting here. The original El Grande Americano would get injured and would give his mask over to the new El Grande Americano, asking him to carry on the legacy. Then, in a what we thought was a bizarre Bray Wyatt mind trip, we would get El Grande Americano versus the original El Grande Americano, where the original would even win. Despite this, the two have said that they are not at odds with each other. If anything, even though it is not by blood, they are brothers by lucha. And the original says he wishes nothing but well for the new El Grande Americano, because that's who he chose to be his successor. He gave him the gimmick. He gave him the mask. He gave him the title, El Grande Americano. So instead of being at each other's throats, the two decided to team up to create Los Conquistadors, otherwise known as the Conquerors. Because anything that they can do apart, they can do even more together. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what sets RWF apart from anywhere else. It's the peak storytelling that I get to do just because I ended up having Bray Wyatt randomly challenge, because I randomly had Scott Steiner put the title on the line against Bray Wyatt, and it just so happened that El Grande Americano won the number one contendership for the United States title. Now these two fighting here on the outside of the ring. Big Uranagi there by Uncle Howdy. Big move there by Uncle Howdy into the cover. And that kick out of 2. Cover attempt, but a breakup by the original. Close call. This match continues. Oh, that's cool. They actually got his voice in the game. I mean, I know they have Braves too, but that's just, I don't know. I like that. Okay, I got the Bray Wyatt. Uh-oh. And Bray feeling a bit spidery here. Perhaps looking to set up Sister Abigail. I like that a lot, that they use the voice right. Oh, Bray took way too long there, and Americano able to get out of it. Avalanche, white noise from the middle rope into the cover. But only a 1 count. Tagging in the OG. Bray trying to hit Sister Abigail. This time he does. Straight into the cover. But the OG Americano kicks out of 2. Tag out to Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy and the OG Americano fighting on the outside, trying to do as much damage as they can. Pinfall attempt, but Bray Wyatt right there to break it up. Tagging into Bray Wyatt now. Back and forth action between these two teams. It's that massive running headbutt, but Uncle Howdy saves the matchup. Tagging in the OG now. There's a tag out to Uncle Howdy. Mandible Claw into Sister Abigail. But Americano breaks up the cover. And the OG taking full effect of the no disqualification rules going down low. Massive rolling German suplex. There's the tag to Bray Wyatt. Tag into the new Americano. Springboard crossbody. Americano putting his body on the line into a cover here. And that's it.
Here are your winners. El Grande Americano and El Grande Americano, Los Conquistadores.
Boo! But also boo! Right? And their second outing and a very, very competitive and hard-fought victory with the number one contender getting a victory over the champion all in the mix. Could this mean that we're looking at a new United States champion? Only time will tell. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have two more matches for you guys, and in a almost breaking of things up, Triple H has demanded that the semi-main and main event matches feature the two current Carrot Cash briefcase holders versus the two current champions that they can choose to cash in those briefcases. Now, from what I understand, neither one of them have decided to take this match as a cash-in attempt. So from what I understand, these will both be non-title matches. And coming up next, it will be the women's Carrot Cash briefcase holder Tiffany Stratton versus the women's world champion Victoria. And this is it. This is much like when the briefcase holders fought the number one contenders. This is very much a way to send a message. The champion wants to send the message of, hey, you don't want to cash in on me, because it's going to be an unsuccessful cash in. Meanwhile, the challenger here wants to win to be like, ha, now I have all the momentum in the world because I have the briefcase. I've beaten the number one contender and I've beaten the champion. So who knows? I may just cash in, make it a triple threat, and walk out of Heatwave as champion. Just out of curiosity, I'm still streaming, right? Y'all can still see everything going on, right? That is very interesting because I've lost Wi-Fi on... That is weird. I've lost Wi-Fi on both my... I guess I've only lost Wi-Fi on my phone. That is weird though. The stream hasn't had any issues, glitches, disconnects, anything? Huh, well, I'm thankful for that. Honestly, I really am. I was just really worried there because I looked over and my phone was kind of like doing something and it's like, you're not connected to the Wi-Fi. I'm like, well, the Wi-Fi, and then it's like, internet not available on your Wi-Fi. And I'm like, but wait, I'm streaming and my tablet doesn't work without Wi-Fi and it's showing the video and it said, like, my computer says the live stream is excellent quality. So, like, I don't know, I kind of got worried there. Big top rope dive by Tiffany Stratton into the cover. And a kick out of two. Went for a big top rope moonsault, Victoria did, but she missed. And now these two battling for position. Big power slam there by Tiffany Stratton. Big spine buster as Stratton stays in control. And Stratton going for a swanton, but this time Victoria gets the knees up. Reversal by Stratton. Only to get caught in the Widow's Peak. Straight into the cover. And that's it.
Here is your winner,
Victoria showing the message to Tiffany that, hey, you might not want to try to cash in on me because I now have a victory over you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to our main event of the evening as the men's Carrot Cash briefcase holder, Sheamus, goes one-on-one with the RWF heavyweight champion, Goldberg.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Dublin, Ireland, weighing in at 267 pounds, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus!
Sheamus defeating 7 other men in a ladder match to become the Carrot Cash briefcase holder. Celtic Warrior's first big achievement here in RWF. And of course, it's Goldberg. Goldberg dominated WCW. He pretty much dominated WWE, and the exact same has been the case since debuting here in RWF, winning his debut match, which was an 8-man over-the-top rope battle royal, to become the number one contender to the heavyweight championship, which was held by Tyler Bate at the time. He would go on to Carrot Cash. He would defeat Tyler Bate for the heavyweight championship. And now he will have his first title defense when he defends the title against CM Punk at Heatwave. Sheamus trying to use the ropes to his advantage, but only getting a 2 count. Goldberg with a spear out of nowhere. Goldberg perhaps looking for that jackhammer, but Sheamus able to reverse out of it. Now these two gonna trade blows. Sheamus hits the high cross. And looking to get him away from the ropes. Going for a pinfall. But Goldberg kicks out at 2. Big clothesline into a cover. And this time it's Sheamus that kicks out at 2. Close call, but still no cigar, and Goldberg looks like he can't believe it. Oh, quick pin here by Sheamus, but a kick out at 2. Goldberg setting up the jackhammer, but Sheamus again able to get out of it. Goldberg went to the well one too many times with that clothesline. Pays for it with a big move by Sheamus into the cover. And a kick out at 2. Sheamus able to reverse the spear into a DDT. But he couldn't block that shoulder tackle into the cover. And able to kick out at 2. Sheamus hits the bro kick into the cover. And that's it.
Here is your winner, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
And Sheamus has done it, ladies and gentlemen. He has beaten the champion. He has beaten the #1 contender. And he holds the Money in the Bank briefcase. Whether he decides to cash in at Heatwave or not is still 100% his decision. But that ends our show here tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Oh yeah, fella! I hope you all have enjoyed. I hope you guys will be with me as we stream tomorrow. What are we streaming tomorrow? I don't know yet. It's a very interesting situation that I'm in. As you may know, I am suspended from my job. I have no earthly idea how long this will be. And from what I've been told, it is very likely I will no longer have my job. If I don't have my job, I don't know how long it's going to take me to find a job. The good news is that means that I'm going to be streaming pretty much every day of the week. I'm going to be starting a lot of playthroughs of stuff that I've been wanting to play for you guys. But that also means, and I need you guys to understand this, that these playthroughs could stop at a moment's notice. The moment I get told that I still have a job, or the moment that I get another job, and that job gives me my schedule, I will have to, as always, edit my stream around that other job. With that said, I am proud to announce that Web Wednesdays will return with our playthrough of Spider-Man 2. I haven't figured out when I want to do Legend of Zelda. I have also got a new Mario game that we could play if you would like me to. Web Wednesday hype. Finally, the time has come. But yeah. I mean, we've got We've got so many games. I've got that Breath of the Wild game. I've got the Mario game. I've got Luigi's Mansion. Heck, we might play Luigi's Mansion tomorrow. I don't know. I really haven't figured out yet. Where the only game that I know for sure is going to be Web Wednesday. Because I love the concept of Web Wednesday and it being Spider-Man. It just all fits together. So Web Wednesday will return. I will be live tomorrow. I'll be live Thursday. I'll be live Friday. I might take Saturdays off. I don't know. I might move Pokemon and take Sundays off. Since I seem to be busy on Sundays anyways. Take the weekends off. Maybe still stream Saturdays. And just take Sundays off. I don't know. This is all things that... Because this is all happening all at once. Like... I was really hoping I was going to hear something today. And all I really heard was I'm on suspension. And then it sounds like I'm going to get fired. But there's no official word yet. So yeah. Whatever tomorrow brings, 7 p.m. Central Time. Keep a hold of Discord. Let your voices known on Discord if you have opinions on what should be played. For tonight, we're going to go ahead and get on to our commands. And then I'm going to let you guys go. As always, we are sponsored by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He has blessed both me and my wife extremely greatly. We want to make sure that we return His blessings by giving Him all the honor, glory, and credit He possibly deserves. In a way, we are also sponsored by Mary Kay. If you didn't know already, my wife, Firebird 10, is a Mary Kay consultant. Mary Kay has tons of skincare, as well as makeup and deodorant and stuff for men and all kinds of stuff. You can contact us to get your Mary Kay. We would also love to say a huge thank you to everybody that joined me today. It means so much to me that you guys take time out of your busy days to come and hang out with me. Of course, a huge thank you also goes to our supporters, starting indeed with my hashtag wonderful wife Firebird10, our amazing friends Nick and T, as well as our other friends Steve, Sean, and Danny, and of course our 2 digital artists responsible for our artwork, Amon Wolf of CNH Podcast and Z Fire Incorporated. Thank you guys so much. Discord. We have one of those. If you've not joined our Discord and you would like to, feel free to grab that link right there and come join us. We've got tons of chat rooms. That's where important announcements are announced, decisions are decided, discussions are discussed, wrestling results are resulted, chats are chatted, and honestly, we just love to have you there. Another place that we love to have you is over on YouTube. If you'd like to check out our past live streams or highlight videos, you can grab that link right there and come join us. Now, since it is all free and another way to help support the stream, I do ask if you don't mind, give the YouTube channel a subscribe, hit that bell icon to keep yourself notified, give the videos a like, and give them a comment because comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. You can also find us over on TikTok. If you'd like to just see our highlight videos without having to go through all of the past live streams, we can find just the highlight videos over on TikTok. And again, while you're over there, since it's all free and another way to help support, give the channel a follow, give the videos a heart, and give them a comment as well, because comments are also good for the TikTok algorithm. Last, but certainly not least, are ways to help support the stream right here, right now, if you would like to do so. Always keep in mind that nothing is ever required, but everything is very much appreciated. And I do mean that. Even if you're just lurking in the background, it means the world to me. So thank you guys. But if you would like to do more, there is now information in the chat on how you can help. But please, as always, only do what you're able and comfortable with doing. For tonight, I am JRabbit87, and I hope you all have a very good night.